Great Memorial United Church in West Bay.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctor's Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Friday, the 30th day of January 2026, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We hope and we trust everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. I'm going to abbreviate my opening comments this morning because we have some time constraints and we have some very important guests in our studio. So first of all, this segment brought to you by Coca-Cola. For the Record, birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola, proud to support your birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes. From generation to generation, Coca-Cola, still a Cayman classic. Let's look at those persons who are celebrating a birthday today. We want to give a big happy birthday shout out to Miss Zita Mae Borden, who is celebrating her birthday today. Happy birthday, Miss Zita Mae. Also celebrating a birthday today, Miss Rosemary Moxham, celebrating a birthday on Sunday, the 1st of February. Elizabeth Whitaker, Barbara Wilson, Miss Lana Mae Smith, and Mr. Alfredo Whitaker. So those are the birthday shout-outs, again, brought to you by Coca-Cola. If you know someone who's celebrating a birthday or any other momentous occasion, share that information with us, and we will give them a shout-out right here on For the Record. This morning, we have the pleasure of having in the studio with us Minister with responsibility for Caymanian employment and immigration, Honorable Michael Myles, and his chief officer, Mr. Wesley Howell. We're operating on the time constraints this morning because sometime after 8 o'clock, probably after 8:15, Radio Cayman will be going live to the education conference. So as a result of that, we're going to have an abbreviated show. So you're going to your listeners, audience, will be doing more listening than talking this morning because we want the minister and his chief officer to have an opportunity to get across their message this morning. Extremely important message as well. And, you know, if you feel disappointed about that, we're working on having Minister Myles and a full entourage with us on Monday morning on For the Record as well. So with those remarks, Minister Myles, Chief Officer Mr. Howell, good morning. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C. And good morning to the listening public.
Good morning as well, and to your lovely listeners on Radio Cayman.
Okay, take it away, gentlemen. All yours.
You know, we wanted to continue to move our immigration reform into the public domain. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I've been doing a lot of meetings with employers because as we get close to the implementation stages in March for the new bill, we want to continue to ensure that the public is engaged. And just to continue to set the record straight, the immigration reform has always been about ensuring that Caymanians are first. We want to make sure that our people are priority in our country. And I believe that we are poised to do that. In addition to that, we also want to make sure that the immigration reform isn't about anti-business. I've heard some of that sentiment, and I've met with a number of employers from all across industry, from financial services to tourism, and from retail, to other industries other industries like the construction industry. I can't stop business. The wonderful part about our country is that we're booming. We're open for business. The Cayman Islands is booming with business, and that's a great problem to have. It means that our people have choices in the industries, certainly in the organizations that they work in. What we are asking business to do is come alongside of us and help us promote our people. Our people don't just want entry-level positions. That's a start. They know that they need to start there. But we also want to ensure that training is a priority and promotion is a priority. What we continue to hear is that Cayman is open for business, but Caymanians aren't given the opportunities to grow, learn, and move up into business. And we're hoping to change that. The immigration reform is just one part of it. People still have to be responsible. What I've said at the Chamber Forum is that I'm willing to meet, along with the chief officer and our team, with any organization who have solutions to help us ensure that Caymanians are trained and promoted. We've done that with the 1GT. We've been in a lot of discussion with the Grand Hyatt. That should be opening hopefully in the summer. And we're excited about, they have put aside at least 100 Caymanians that they have identified to hire. This has taken a lot of great work between our ministry, the Department of Work, and certainly the private sector. So we want to continue to have this really important conversation. We put together a workforce development committee, which is also made up of the private sector, because we want to ensure that the private sector is involved with all of the strategies that we're putting in place. The private sector is the largest employer in our country. So the workforce committee is going off of several reports that have been done over the last 3 or 4 years. We're now putting that into a strategy. And as I said at the Chamber Forum, we can continue to talk about workforce development, workforce strategy, but if we don't implement something, it's just discussion. And I'm not going to spend the next 3 years just having long discussions about workforce strategy. We need to actually come up with one which complements our immigration reform, which complements our boards and the department. Cayman isn't just about taking fees from employers. Our responsibility is to make sure that at least between the 400 to 500 young people that graduate every year from all of our high schools, that they have real opportunity. So that, in its essence, is what our reform is all about: holding employers accountable, holding ourselves accountable, ensuring that our immigration department continues to be as efficient as possible. A lot of work is underway to ensure that Mr. Scott and his team continue to grow and learn from past mistakes, but also to make sure that the immigration department continues to provide good customer service and grow from all of the things that we have been doing with them over the last 9 months. So it's been really great to see how it's all unfolding, but I wanted to ensure that our community, our business community in particular, understands the reform isn't about anti-business. We can't stop, and we will never stop business from coming to Cayman. We want business to be here. We certainly want to ensure that business continue to grow and to compete. And as I said before, the businesses that's competing on a global level, we want to continue with that. If we don't have homegrown talent, then we need to make sure that they get the talent that they need to run their organizations.
Now, you mentioned the 1GT and the Grand Hyatt. Yep. In general, how has the response been from the business community in terms of what is being proposed, the law as well as the regulations?
You know, you can always, I know Wes would agree with me. There are those 50% of people think that we haven't done enough, that we haven't gone far enough, right? The next 50% think that we've overreached. So we've tried to be right down the middle with all of this. We want to reduce things like margins of convenience. So we've packed the law with a number of different caveats. We want to hold Marge representatives accountable for who they are actually marrying. Because we've heard out there that people are basically marriage shopping, right? So they want to go to specific people, that they believe that will put these margins of certificates together. They know that they're fraudulent, but these folks will go with it anyway. So we've had to make sure that we put some regulations and reform around that. But we also want to make sure that people who are getting Cayman citizenship are making an honest contribution. So things like the point system we are reviewing, and that's coming. The regulations we're working on, that will be going to caucus shortly for approval and then out for public consumption.
Okay, great.
So we are working with a lot of things. As you know, OC as a current board member for the BSP, we're doing a lot of work with you guys as well. I want to make sure that between the department, the ministry, and our boards, we're all in sync. Wes has done a lot of work ensuring that communication continues to be filtered out there. We can do more, and is this one of the things that I've said to the business community. We can do more with communication, and we're putting a communication plan together. Our communications manager, Martha Conde, is working a lot on that now. We want to make sure that on a regular basis, people that are subscribing to the immigration department are getting information. We know that we're never going to get this right 100%. That's not possible. But where we see that we're getting it wrong, we're going to change that. I don't have the time to wait 15 years to make a change. If we know it's wrong, and Wes can tell you this, we've seen things that in the current bill that we say, something, this may not have the effect that we want. We have stress tested, and we're going to go back to Parliament and change it. So those are the things that ultimately we want the listening public and certainly our business community to understand. If it makes sense, we're going to change, but we're not changing just because you just don't like it, or because my company, it's just not going to benefit my specific company. So we are tuned in to the public. Anyone, a matter of fact, anyone that call or write me, or and I'm just about accessible on a number of different social media sites. People calling me on the phone or sending me an email. I am meeting with them because I believe that everybody needs to be heard. And my responsibility is to make sure that them being heard has to be communicated to the chief officer and his team, and certainly to the department. So the department are meeting with the chief officer and I. Mr. Scott meets with us on a regular basis, and we want to continue to make sure that continues to happen across the board. We have to be all on the same page. And when, the chief officer makes a change that affects the director, we need to communicate that. And we need to communicate that to the team as well. So there's a lot of training that has been happening with the bill as well, hence why we pushed it back to March, because the director said, I can't do this, in January, like you just passed this bill in December, we are not going to do this well if you're expecting me to do this in January. And I'm like, I agree with you, right? In most administrations, they'd have pushed this through. I have said, along with our team of the NCFC, we said we want to give them every opportunity to be prepared for this. We want to give the boards the opportunity to be prepared for it. Let's push it back to March, right? There's no need of overwhelming the team. So all of this information, as I said, could we do it better? Absolutely. We are striving to get it done better. We want to make sure that more communication is put out there, but we are on the uptick of this. What we want from the business community is to continue to provide us with solutions on how we improve.
Okay, folks, we're going to take a commercial break. Let me remind you, in the studio, we have the Honorable Michael Myles, Minister with responsibility for Caymanian employment and immigration, and the Chief Officer in the Ministry, Mr. Wesley Howell. Some of the topics that we want to talk about, you've heard him speak about given a big picture in terms of immigration reform. We want to talk about Caymanian employment. You've heard him talk about businesses and business community confidence. We're going to talk about fees and fairness as well. Hopefully we'll be able to get to the minimum wage and cost of living and what comes next. And if we're unable to, like I said, we're working on a Monday morning show as well this coming Monday. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
During the 1960s, a Mr. Ulrich McNamee came to Grand Cayman from Jamaica to work as a schoolteacher. After recognizing the need for an agriculture society, he set about starting one. Mr. McNamee, along with 10 Caymanians, attended the agriculture show in Jamaica. The group was treated well by the Jamaicans and were able to learn much, including seeing the stores where excess produce were stored and the benefits of their agriculture show. After returning home from the Jamaican Agriculture Show, Mr. McNamee, along with 15 Caymanians, started to meet on a monthly basis at the courthouse near Hogstye Bay. The meetings were held to discuss the growth of local produce and create the rules and regulations upon which the Cayman Islands Agriculture Society would be born.
Information from this historical vignette was sourced courtesy of Mr. Charles Lindbergh Eden, The History of Agriculture, 50th Annual Agriculture Show magazine.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Football fans, get ready! The biggest game of the year, Patriots versus the Seahawks. And Coca-Cola is giving you the chance to watch it like a true VIP. Purchase any Coca-Cola 8-pack at ShopRite, McRoss, and participating Rubis or Esso stations. And enter to win an exclusive VIP cinema viewing experience. 15 lucky winners will enjoy the big game on the biggest screen in Cayman. With Dolby surround sound, food and adult beverages included. Don't just watch the game, experience it. Grab your Coca-Cola 8-pack today and enter to win.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superhero shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Brandosaur's Home Gallery, together with the GE Appliances, is helping you jumpstart 2026 with 15% savings on all GE appliances. Now through to January 31, enjoy 15% off a wide selection of GE appliances, including refrigerators, ovens, dishwashers, ranges, microwave ovens, washers, dryers, cooktops, wine coolers, and more. Lock in 2025 pricing and save before the 2026 prices take effect on February 1. Don't miss this limited time opportunity to upgrade your home and save big during the Brandosaur's Home Gallery GE Appliances Jumpstart 2026 sale. Brandosaur's Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive Industrial Park. Call them at 623-5000.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, let me remind you that we have in the studio with us Honorable Michael Myles, Minister with responsibility for Caymanian employment and immigration, and his Chief Officer, Mr. Wesley Howell. Just very quickly, we will break for the 8 o'clock news. And then we will play it by air. Our guests will remain in the studio because we will be going live to the education conference when it does start. So after the news, we will still be here, but we don't know precisely what time we will have to end at that point in time. Meanwhile, we're going to continue the conversation, and we're going to throw the mic over to Chief Officer, Mr. Wesley Howell.
Thank you again, O.C. And I would say, as we were saying during the break, with your great career with the Immigration Department, you are no stranger to implementing law changes. So kudos to Director Scott and his team.
Yes,
they have been quite busy at work. The legislation was passed in, mid-December, and it's shoulder to the wheel working with eGov team, working with CSD, working with the legal department. I got a call from the Deputy Solicitor General last week, preparing her notes to come and talk to the boards about the changes in the law and those things. So a lot of heavy lifting. So the public who haven't heard a whole lot from us in relation to the rollout timelines, rest assured that we're working heavily to make sure that we're ready for it operationally. And those bits will then have some advance notice when it's coming into play. We're working very closely as well with the caucus as it relates to the regulations, the fee changes and so on, ensuring that we're taking the time to get that right. And quite a bit of work is being done there as well. The law is very complicated. The regulations are complicated. We've actually separated the fees into their own regulation, and that's 87 pages long. Wow. So, the amount of effort that's going in by our staff, Ms. Rollner, who's leading this from the ministry, and the legal drafting team. I think she's at this point instructing 2 different legal drafters as it relates to the multitude of regulations that are going through. There is a reg update coming on marriages as well. Most folks would now know that we're introducing some declarations, annual declarations and so on. But before we get to that point, as Minister mentioned earlier, marriage shopping happens, and marriages of convenience, or sham marriages as some people prefer to hear it called, don't just happen between Caymanians and non-Caymanians. They're non-Caymanians and non-Caymanians that are also getting themselves into arrangements of sham arrangements of convenience. So the regulation change that's coming in relation to that will add an extra level of reporting on marriage officers. So if they have concerns, suspicions, and so on, there's a reporting mechanism for that. Our partners over at General Registry have a secured sharing system where they can make a note of the individuals who they believe are trying to shop around for somebody whose scrutiny might be low enough that they would go ahead and conduct that ceremony or that arrangement. So we're looking forward to that coming into force. That is one of the areas. Most people know that marriage is the biggest segment of persons becoming Caymanian. As we continue to make adjustments to immigration legislation to make it more effective and so on, we want to ensure that we're not incentivizing individuals to enter into sham marriages. The penalties for false information is being increased with the introduction of a year of prison time for up to a year of prison time for false declarations and so on. So definitely want to ensure that folks are aware of those precepts before they come in. While I have the mic, I just want to say Minister Myles is, as much as he is pro-Caymanian employment, he is pro-efficiency and doesn't take kindly to folks taking too long to make decisions. So he's cracking the whip as it relates to, where Caymanians are not available, make those decisions really quickly and push those through. He's asked us to look at, so most folks would know that we have the risk register where employers who have offended are flagged up. We also are being directed now to say, listen, you know who the good employers are. You sat down with them. You understand their business plans. You can see the Caymanians being promoted and interned and so on. When they start submitting their applications, you can process them faster because this is a good employer. So not just recognizing the ones that are flouting the law, but those that are going way above and beyond the requirements. So that's something that he's tasking us with. We have our HOD meeting coming up, our monthly HOD meeting coming up next week, and I know that's at the top of the list, not only for WRC, but also on the labor and pension side, driving these efficiencies and so on. So looking forward to having the law come into practice in March. As Minister said, there's a few things that while we were operationalizing the changes in legislation, there's a few more tweaks that we need to make to the legislation. So those are being prepared now. We're drafting. Parliament meets in early March.
Okay.
So very shortly thereafter, we expect to have the systems and new laws out.
Folks, the voices that you're hearing, the voice of the Honourable Michael Myles, Minister with responsibility for Caymanian employment and immigration, and his Chief Officer, Mr. Wesley Howell. We're going to go to our 8 o'clock news now. When we return from the 8 o'clock news, we're going to be playing it by ear because we will be going live at some point in time. We're not sure the precise time, but we will be going live to the education conference as well. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Football fans, get ready! The biggest game of the year, Patriots versus the Seahawks. And Coca-Cola is giving you the chance to watch it like a true VIP. Purchase any Coca-Cola 8-pack at ShopRite, McRoss, and participating Rubis or Esso stations. And enter to win an exclusive VIP cinema viewing experience. 15 lucky winners will enjoy the big game on the biggest screen in Cayman. With Dolby surround sound, food and adult beverages included. Don't just watch the game, experience it. Grab your Coca-Cola 8-pack today and enter to win.
For today's biggest news,
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. This morning, teachers, administrators, and support staff are invited to the National Education Conference, what's now expected to be an annual professional development event.
The conference begins with an opening ceremony, and our keynote speaker is Dr. Sonja Hollins-Alexander. She has over 30 years of experience in education and varied experience, which is what makes her have such an impact when she delivers her message. She started as a school social worker and then then decided that she was reaching children too far along and wanted to actually be involved with helping them in their education before they reached crisis mode, as we would say.
Head of Professional Development in the Ministry of Education, Kiva Powell, tells Radio Cayman the conference will then break into 3 blocks of learning. Department of Education Services Director Mark Ray.
Sometimes the impression is that the expertise and the knowledge and the know-how sits elsewhere. When in truth and in fact, it's right here within our system. And I say our system, I'm talking private, public, and our education partners. So it is critically important that we give that opportunity for our educators to be able to deliver and to be able to learn from each other, share good practice, have the discussions, talk in a very real and practical way about what's happening and what the solutions are.
The conference is at John Gray High School gym starting at 8:30 a.m. The premier says government has reaffirmed its commitment to the people of Jamaica by sending $1 million for Hurricane Melissa relief efforts.
The Cayman Islands continues to stand firmly with Jamaica during this critical period of recovery.
The latest contribution forms part of government's overall pledge of $1.2 million and follows a shipment of emergency relief supplies valued at nearly $200,000 delivered on the first relief flight to land in Jamaica after the storm.
As recovery continues, we remain committed to offering meaningful support that helps communities recover, livelihoods restart, and families look to the future with renewed hope.
The latest funds will be used to provide residents with vouchers for purchasing building materials for home repairs, assist with rebuilding schools and procuring school supplies, as well as equipment and support for agricultural restoration. Hurricane Melissa made landfall in Jamaica in late October. In April 2025, local voters backed the decriminalization of cannabis in a national referendum, with the premier announcing in Parliament in June that the matter was being sent to the Law Reform Commission. Little else has been heard since. Red Bay MP Roy Tatum now says decriminalizing small amounts of marijuana in Cayman should happen, but only with clear limits and safeguards in place. Speaking on For the Record this week, Mr. Tatum said government must spell out exactly what counts as a small amount and avoid trapping minor users in a cycle of repeated arrests and fines.
It can't just be that you keep getting, in my view, you can't be arrested every other week or pay a fine every other week for small amounts. I think there should be there should be some consideration given also to making sure that you receive some counseling. Just make sure you understand exactly what it is. It is still a drug.
Mr. Tatum says he's long supported decriminalizing minor possession and is prepared to speak out if the Law Reform Commission's recommendations, quote, take too long to come forward. When announcing the decision to put the matter to the LRC, Premier the Honorable Andre Ebanks said it was important that any changes be mindful of the, quote, evolving regional and global legal landscape and the social and criminal justice implications.
The Commission will be asked to evaluate and make reform recommendations regarding key matters such as proposed possession thresholds and legal definitions, levels of administrative penalties, alignment with existing drug enforcement, as well as regional and international obligations, potential social impacts, and safeguarding vulnerable populations.
Mr. Ebanks said once government reviews the Commission's report, an update will be provided to Parliament as to, quote, next actions. And the Ministry of Health, Environment and Sustainability is set to host a press briefing today at 3 p.m. live on the government YouTube channel. The ministry will be making a, quote, number of key announcements. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. The Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has again said his country is ready for talks with the United States on the basis of mutual respect. But he warned that if the US did attack, Iran's response might surpass the boundaries of a bilateral war. Mr. Araghchi was speaking in Turkey, which has been offering to mediate. That's the latest. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Cayman, it's time to go further than you ever thought possible.
The Ministry of Education and Training is now accepting applications for the overseas scholarships. Your chance to access up to CI $35,000 per year to earn a world-class education abroad. This is more than funding. It's an investment in you, your talent, your goals, your future. Applications close 31st of January 2026. Visit moescholarships.gov.ky and apply today. Greatness begins with one decision. Make yours now.
Hey, new drivers, don't just drive, drive smart. Cineco and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cineco motor insurance. Learn more and register at cineco.ky. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 74 degrees. Relative humidity is 92%. The barometric pressure is 29.97 inches and rising. The wind is north-northwest at 4 knots. Overnight low temperature was 73 degrees. Synopsis indicate cloudiness and intermittent showers associated with a surface trough is expected to persist over the Cayman area through this afternoon, with conditions gradually improving thereafter. Moderate north to northwest winds and slight seas are forecast tonight, becoming moderate to fresh as the pressure gradient tightens across the region. Further north, a cold front currently over the western Gulf of Mexico is forecast to advance into the southeastern Gulf of Mexico by tomorrow morning. Satellite imagery continued to show scattered multi-layered cloud over the Cayman area. Now the forecast for today calling for cloudy skies with a 60% chance of showers this morning, becoming partly cloudy to cloudy with a 30% chance of showers this afternoon. Temperatures today will be in the upper 70s. Your winds will be north to northwest at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be slight with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet, mainly along the northern coast, whilst also affecting the western coast at times. Swells are expected along the northern and western coast. Pretty much the same for tonight. Partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures will fall to the low 70s tonight. Your winds will be northwest at 10 to 15 knots. Seas moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet, mainly along the northern coast for tonight as well, also affecting the western coast at times. Swells are also expected along the northern and western coast for tonight as well. Today's high tide will occur this morning at 8:29, low tide this afternoon at 2:38, and a high tide again tonight at 7:50. Sunset 6:16, sunrise tomorrow morning at a minute after 7, and the outlook is calling for moderate to fresh north to northwest winds to persist through the next few days and continue to produce some northern and westerly swells. The cold front is expected to move into the Cayman area later Saturday, bringing significantly below average temperatures on Sunday, with strong to near gale force winds and very rough seas. A marine watch will be issued Saturday night and be upgraded to a marine warning on Sunday. That's the very latest on your weather report.
For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. Brought to you by UHealth International, University of Miami Health System. International patients go to UHealth International for consultations with renowned physicians, advanced treatment technologies, leading-edge medical therapies, and state-of-the-art surgical procedures. Whatever your particular reason for going to UHealth International, you will receive customized medical care delivered within a compassionate, multicultural setting. The care you need when you need it.
Radio Cayman Super Jam Show, the #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio.
Brought to you by these kind sponsors.
The Cayman Islands Football Association, SIFA, building a better future for Cayman football.
Cayman Insurance Center.
Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call me today, Michael Webster, at 925-5433.
UWI Open Campus, on-site, online, and on demand.
Visit open.uwi.edu. Call them today at 946-8322.
Super Jam.
Also brought to you by Cayman Airways. Call them at 949-2311 to book your non-stop flights to Los Angeles and Panama.
And Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola.
The #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio.
The Traffic Report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning again. This time we take a quick look at what's happening on the road, see what's slowing and what's flowing. Further up on Shamrock Road, traffic is moving at a moderate pace. Further down, a different story as traffic is heavy just past the Tomlinson roundabout. And as you approach the Linford Pearson Highway, steady traffic. And traffic steady coming off of Bobby Thompson Way and Agnes Way. Crew Road, slow moving traffic. As we look to downtown Georgetown on Edward Street, flowing pretty good. And into Georgetown on Shedwin, looking good as well. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue, traffic is moderate in both directions. Turning attention to the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic moving on at a moderate pace. And coming off of the Esley Tibbetts Highway, steady traffic. And continuing on to North Sound Road, Industrial Park area, flowing at a moderate pace. If you've seen accidents, let us know by calling us at 949-6990. And that's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic. Remember, click it or ticket.
Feeding a crowd? Subway Catering makes it easy. Choose from freshly made sub and wrap platters in 2 sizes, or go for individual boxed meals, complete with a 6-inch sub, cookie, and chips. Perfect for groups of 15 or more. And don't forget dessert. Our freshly baked cookie platters come in 2 sizes, so there's always enough to go around. Visit www.subway.ky to view our catering menu. You can call or email us to place your order. Then choose to pick up in-store or get hassle-free delivery. However you cater, we've got the fresh flavors everyone loves. Subway. Eat fresh. Cater with ease.
The Traffic Report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman is proud to continue to serve our island community. The club continues to host successful community projects like the Prostate and Colon Cancer Awareness Campaign, free site screening in schools, spelling bee, swim meets, and their community pantry. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman looks forward to continuing their service for many years to come. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman, where there's a need, there's a lion, serving the community for over 50 years.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. I'm your host, Orrett Connor, and it's my pleasure to have in the studio with me the Honourable Michael Myles, Minister with responsibility for Caymanian employment and immigration, along with his Chief Officer, Mr. Wesley Howell. We will be leaving you at 8:30 to go to the National Education Council 2026. Meanwhile, I don't want to delay. We want to use as much time as we possibly can, so I'm going to throw the mic right back over, hand the mic right back over to Mr. Myles and Mr. Howell. Gentlemen.
Thank you, O.C. One of the things that I think people sometimes often forget is that we're also doing employment, because immigration is such a very sometimes overwhelming topic. We spend a lot of time on that. So I kind of want to switch gears, hopefully for the next 15 minutes, and start to talk about employment. We are moving to a point where we have so many jobs in the Cayman Islands. What we've been trying to encourage, in particular, a lot of our job seekers, is that they have to register on the Jobs Cayman portal. It is critically important that our people register on the Jobs Cayman portal and apply for jobs on the Jobs Cayman portal. As everyone knows, before anyone gets a work permit, they have to advertise those jobs on the portal. I'm still getting a number of phone calls of folks saying, well, you know, I applied to this job, and oftentimes I say to them, how would I know that, right? Because if you're just applying to the job on LinkedIn, it doesn't help us, right? The boards doesn't see the applications that those people are applying to on LinkedIn. So I'm asking our people who are, you know, whether they are a new job seeker or a current job seeker who is currently have a job but want a better job, they have to put their profile on the Jobs Cayman portal. So that's one. Another one is that the employment for Caymanians is critically important to us. We believe that at the end of the day, the only way that we will continue to help our people prosper in our country, whether that's to afford property, buy a house, buy an apartment, live a better life, is if more continued development is there. The Cayman Islands government, through the Ministry of Education, have local scholarships, we have international scholarships, we have training scholarships. All of these things are there for Caymanians. I am asking as many Caymanians as possible, please access these trainings. They are really good training programs that we now have, from construction to other alternative training programs in the Cayman Islands. Please access this as well, because it goes towards your competitive edge. In addition to that, we're also looking for private-public partnerships. These are partnerships, OCI was explaining to you, one of the private-public partnerships that we did with the 1GT hotel that's going to be opening up shortly. When they came to us about 8 months ago, they really weren't not prepared to ensure that Caymanians were going to be hired in the hospitality industry. We pushed them to put a plan in place, and they did. They really rose to the occasion. They put a really great plan in place. We had they invited 42 people to interview. 28 actually confirmed, and 20 actually showed up for the program that they had. They've hired all 20 of those people, right?
Great,
in addition to those 20 people, they hired an additional 7 or 8 people as well. Now, we know that in the hospitality industry, we don't have a lot of our people going into that. So what we are trying to do from a ministry perspective is to paint career paths. So I've been meeting with a number of different industries. Yesterday I met with IMAC, which is, you know, they are all about it, insurance, captive insurance, and so forth. They are a major player in our country, and IMAC also have scholarships. IMAC scholarships actually complement the Ministry of Education scholarships. So what they do is they top up, right? So if the ministry is giving $30,000 and your school is $40,000, IMAC basically gives the additional $10,000.
Okay.
One of the things that they have seen is that many students, and when they say many, probably 90% of the students are not going into captive insurance. They want to change that. So I met with their executive team yesterday to walk through ways in which they can partner with us at the ministry to start to get their careers out there. People are making hundreds of thousands of dollars in salary in this country through captive insurance.
Yeah, actuarial science.
Absolutely. You know it, right?
Yeah.
But how often have you seen that out in the public domain, that this is an actuary is an actual career, or a manager, or a leader, you know, or an administrator, or a compliance officer? All of this stuff is in our country. Our people do not have to leave our country to seek employment, but we need to fight harder. And this is what I said to the chamber, folks at the Chamber Forum. I want to do more, but I need the private sector to help me do more. I need to understand what are the needs out there, what are the skill gaps, and then we need to help fund those skill gaps so we can get our people in there. So I say this to our Caymanian public. We're doing a lot of work. I need partnerships, in particular from the business community. I need people to come forward to tell me what else they can do to help us, because the government alone, the ministry alone, the departments alone isn't going to be successful at this alone. We can no longer do this in isolation. We have to do this where the public, in particular our commerce, is engaging with us.
Can you think of any incentives that you would want to offer those companies that come forward in terms of partnering, with you? Some of them, will
Yes.
do it simply because of their business culture.
Right.
And there are some that may need a little nudging to come along as well.
Absolutely. So, I mentioned what we did with the 1GT. Like, we funded the program. We funded their training program. They did all of the training. We coordinated the venue. We are coordinating all of the payments to the students that are doing these internships, because we wanted it to be paid. I mean, all of these people are adults, right? They're not going to just work for free for the next 3 months. We needed to take care of them. So we funded that as well. So these are things that we can do with the business community as well. What I also said to what I've been saying to a number of business community representatives is that we understand, in particular, small businesses cannot actually inherit more staff that they cannot afford, but they can offer the training. And this is what I've said to a lot of them. Then let us know that. Let's see if we can find funding as the government. As long as you can take the intern, let's see how we can get that paid for, so that intern has an opportunity to have a great experience, right? So these are things that we can do. We are looking at the accredited program, in particular for those businesses who have very large staff. But the majority of them, they're hiring Caymanian, they're promoting Caymanians, they have scholarships, they have internships, they have apprenticeships. They have partners that, from the legal perspective, maybe the accounting perspective, they have partners that are Caymanian. We want that. We don't want to hold up people's work permits if there's not a local candidate. So the accredited, the accredited program is where we're headed, right? We want to identify those businesses and give them the rewards that when they need that talent, we're not holding up on a work permit because they are in the same pool as the unscrupulous employers out there, right? So we want to find more rewards, and that's why I want to be able to talk and have the discussions of what else can we do in order to expedite so your businesses don't have to compete with unscrupulous employers as well. But we need them to come forward. We need them to have discussions with us. We're setting up an MOU between our team at work on the Department of Financial Assistance, also known as Needs Assessment Unit, because we need to figure out how we make those referrals, right? We want to make sure that the people that we are getting in our employee services unit are all employable. We are no longer going to be putting out people out there who are not employable. We cannot stop them from registering on the Jobs Cayman portal, but our team can no longer put people out there that we know have significant mental health challenges or drug addiction and so forth. We have to make sure that the product of Caymanians that we're putting out there are employable. That means that they're showing up, because the biggest complaint from the business community is that our people aren't showing up on time for interviews. Then when they get there, they're not ready, right? Or they show up late for an interview, or they're not making the effort to be prepared, like their resumes aren't prepared. They can't answer interview questions. We need to do a better job of that. So our ESU unit has been provided with funds. We don't want to get people on welfare. So what I instructed our ESU unit is that we need to figure out what are the barriers. So, for instance, if we are working with a single mom who truly wants to work, but she needs childcare, why should we have to send her to the Department of Financial Assistance to get childcare? We need to be able to supply that from the ESU unit. That's a barrier. So I don't need her to be hooked on welfare. I need her to be employed. And then we need to be able to take care of, on a small scale, the childcare that she needs so she can be employed. So we put together, with Wes's help, we put together a small budget that our team could deal with things like that. We are also making partnerships to ensure that our students overseas and our students at UCCI and ICCI have an easier pathway to coming back to the Cayman Islands. It broke my heart. A couple of nights ago, I was speaking to a mom whose daughter has a master's degree, and she is also illegal. She finished her her law degree. We've paid for it. The Cayman Islands government, the Cayman Islands people have paid for her qualifications. I'm sure that we probably paid well over $150,000. She can't get a job to do her articles, right? I need to help her with that. Our team needs to help her with that. That's a problem, because that young lady is going to get on a plane and go to another country. And all of the talent and skill and education that we've paid for is going to be in another country. So we need to help these youngsters create an easier pathway to coming in. We are now negotiating terms with Cayman Connection. So because they have at least 2,000 young people that they are maintaining in a database that they contact on a regular basis. I need that. We need to be able to reach out to these youngsters regularly to figure out who's coming home and when. Minister Anglin has done us a solid by giving us all of the names for students who are overseas, students who are local. We're now cleaning up that data, because that data is going out to the business community. It's going to go to your organization, the BSP board. It's going to go to the work permit board. So when people are putting in for work permits, you have a register to check to see who's overseas, who's local. All of these things we have done in the last 6 to 8 months because we've been kicking down silos. I cannot work that way. We're not going to be successful that way anymore.
Precisely, yes.
We have to have the business community on board, but we need them to bring solutions, because anybody can criticize, right? I take it on my shoulders. Listen, man, I've sat in meetings where I know it's bad. People don't have to tell me that the systems at work needs work, right? I know it does, and we're doing everything we possibly can to move it. But this has been happening for the last 10 to 15 years. I'm not going to change it in the next year, right? But work with us, right? It is getting there. We are moving in a direction, and it's not going to be instant. So hence, working on employment and certainly in balancing immigration as well. Because I need people to understand, we are not moving forward with immigration unless employment is right next to it, right? They have to go hand in hand,
yes.
right? We cannot be talking about bringing in foreign labor when we have our people who want to work, who's equipped, who's qualified, who have experience, and we have our people that are being overlooked. We're not going to go down that way. And I've said it to the hotel industry. I've said it to the legal fraternity, and certainly our financial institutions. We have to do a better job. And I'm willing to put money behind this as well. The government is willing. The NCFC government is saying, tell us what you need to help our people so we can be there beside you. So we have wraparound services. We're moving towards private-public partnerships. We are having discussions with DFA because we know that we have to identify people from their clientele that are ready for us to work. We can't just have people come into immigration and saying, well, work, NAU sent me or DFA sent me and I need a job. We're not ready yet, right? We need to clean you up some. We need to fix your resume. We need to make sure that when we put you out there, you're ready to go walk into that interview. You're confident about that, because the business community is saying we're giving them people that are not ready, and I have to listen to that, right? So all of these are priorities for us. We need the public to have a clear understanding. We're doing the work. Yes, be critical, but be critical with empathy, because it's not like the team isn't working hard, right? And I can attest to that. And Wes can tell you, I am the biggest critic of our ministry and our departments, right? I am constantly saying we need to do more. We need to be more efficient. So I'm pushing this as hard as I can, because I understand business. As a small business owner as well, I get it. When you need the talent, when you need the skill, you're not waiting 8 months, right? You need that right now. And if a Caymanian isn't ready to go, we need to get that skill from another country, and we need to get it in. However, you cannot circumvent the system, and that's what I'm seeing employers are doing. They're not even trying. Many employers are not even trying. They're basically going out of their way to build JDs specifically for an individual that they have identified, and that is wrong.
And those are the ones now that are going to be held accountable if they don't come on board.
Absolutely. We have to do a better job in doing this. And the goal is right now is moving it forward with integrity, with efficiency.
Minister and Chief Officer, I want to thank you very much, for being here. Folks, you can hear the passion of the minister. And he's not just talking, he's walking the walk, as well. And that is extremely important, because that is the reason that we are where we are today, because we had a lot of talk, but not a whole lot of walk. So we're getting the walk going now as well. And we want to continue this conversation again on Monday morning. I've already contacted Ms. Reed, and we're going to work on that today to get you and your team here on Monday morning as well. Folks, I want to thank you very much for your patience as well. And you can look forward to more of this, God's willing, on Monday as well. We're going to go straight over now to the education. We're going to take the break first, and then we should be going, hopefully, to the conference. Please stay tuned for the record. Maybe back shortly.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Brandosaurus Home Gallery, together with GE Appliances, is helping you jumpstart 2026 with 15% savings on all GE appliances. Now through to January 31, enjoy 15% off a wide selection of GE appliances, including refrigerators, ovens, dishwashers, ranges, microwave ovens, washers, dryers, cooktops, wine coolers, and more. Lock in 2025 pricing and save before the 2026 prices take effect on February 1. Don't miss this limited time opportunity to upgrade your home and save big during the Brandosaurus Home Gallery GE Appliances Jumpstart 2026 sale. Brandosaurus Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive Industrial Park. Call them at 623-5000.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Hey, new drivers, don't just drive, drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical motor insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite Band-Aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
This is For the Record.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're just waiting to be connected with the conference, waiting for them to get started. So just a few comments while we're waiting for them. I want to say that if you were in the room here, broadcast room with us, you would have seen the passion exhibited by Minister Michael Myles. There's no question, and I'm not patronizing, being patronizing or anything, but there's no question that he is committed, and the whole idea between giving him responsibility not only for immigration but for Caymanian employment as well, that was a really an excellent strategic move, because they go hand in hand. They have to be like Siamese twins, where they're attached, to each other, as well, and that is extremely, extremely important. One of the things that I want to mention, he spoke about the Jobs Cayman portal and the fact that there are Caymanians who do not register on that portal, and some, I have to make sure that I parse this the right way now that I there are some highfalutin positions that some Caymanians may feel, I'm not going to register on Jobs Cayman portal, for it. But you need to, because the Jobs Cayman portal is the portal that the boards, that is the Work Permit Board, the Business Staffing Plan Board, as well as those administrators who deal with applications. That's going to be the Jobs Cayman portal is going to be their reference points as to any Caymanians applying for positions that are advertised. Bear in mind that the portal is, you are required, it's obligatory, you're obliged to advertise on there. It does not stop you from advertising on other medium as well. Instagram, those professional, LinkedIn, one of those. Or if they have a sister organization in another country advertising, on their portals or whatever. But whatever applications that they receive from Caymanians, be it on the portal or otherwise, they still have to inform the authorities of that. But by you registering on that Jobs Cayman portal, that is where, like the minister said, that the various boards and administrators have the ability to know that you have applied, for a position. You also heard Mr. Howell, the chief officer, speak about marriages of convenience. There was a point in time when we looked at marriages of convenience as being between a non-Caymanian and a Caymanian for that person to gain an advantage under the immigration law. It is more complicated, and it goes so much farther these days, as well. Because you could have two work permit holders who may be collaborating or conniving to circumvent the immigration system because of some of the measures that we have in place. For instance, when one spouse is under a work permit, the other spouse, his work permit is about to expire, that person can then apply to continue to work in the Cayman Islands while the other spouse's work permit is available. There is an incentive for two non-Caymanians to enter into a marriage, as well. We have also heard stories about those persons coming from Catholic countries, where predominantly Catholic countries, where divorce is not allowed. So we're hearing now that possibly in the Cayman Islands, we're seeing more and more divorces taking place because they're not necessarily allowed in those other countries. Another issue is, and I would imagine that this is a challenge for marriage officers, is when you have to indicate your marital status when you're applying, to get married. How much verification is necessary to know that that person wasn't married before? I mean, there are ways and means of possibly, and knowing that, you could go back, for instance, on their initial work permit application and see what they said there. They may have said that they were married at that point in time and think that no one noticed it, and now they're saying, that they're unmarried, that they're not married, but no evidence of a divorce as well. So those marriages of conveniences, they go beyond Caymanian, non-Caymanian marriages, because there are other ways of trying to circumvent the system or to gain an advantage under the system. And that is as a result of our efforts here in the Cayman Islands to sort of like keep the family unit, together, especially when they come here as a family unit. Now, we know that a lot of work permit holders do not necessarily come as a family unit. One person comes first, gets a job, through word of mouth or otherwise, they're able to get a work permit for their spouse, and then both of them end up here as well. Did we have a caller there, Ms. Susan? No caller. So again, we're going to be looking forward to having Minister Myles and his entourage, his staff in with us, just going over some of the things that we talked about this morning. Immigration reform, Minister Myles gave us the big picture in relation to immigration reform. He spent the last 15 minutes talking about Caymanian employment and how important that is and what is being done. He spoke about the public private partnership with 1GT, and wants to looking forward to enter into more partnerships with other employers as well. He also spoke about business confidence in what is being done as far as immigration reform is concerned, and you would have heard him say that when you talk to half the people are happy for what is being done, and the other half is saying, we've gone too far as well. I believe we're going to go to the conference now. So folks, look forward to being with you again on Monday morning. Have a great weekend, and remember to join Charlo later on at 12:15.
Thank you, Mr. Connor, and we now take you live to the 2026 National Education Conference.
Yes, this is our home. Oh, the beautiful Cayman Islands, where he hath founded upon the seas, written in the stone. So, yeah, come with me to the beach. Let me show you the fishermen by the shores. kitchen bun. They say treasure can be found in the land of Button Town. In East End, maybe we'll thatch some roofs and make some hats. City bluff and run from bats. In the caves of Cayman Brack, write love letters in the sand of little Canaan. I'm so proud to be Caymanian. I am so proud to be, yeah. I'm so proud to be Caymanian, yeah, 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 yeah. I'm so proud to be, I'm so proud to be, na na na. I'm so proud to be, I'm so proud to be, na na na. I'm so proud to be, I'm so proud to be, na na na. I'm so proud to be, I'm so proud to be. Come on. Hey, 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 hey. Cha. Come on. Greetings with a smile that is Caymankind. Always say good morning, 'cause it's our style. Ooh, our history got me singing with pride. Oh, land of soft breezes, oh, beloved, I'm so proud to be.
To a place where the island breezes blow, to a place where the crystal waters flow. Three islands united in the sea. There's no place on earth I'd rather be. I can take you there. Oh, I can take you there. To the Cayman Islands. Ooh, to the Cayman Islands. Yeah, yeah, that's where I wanna be. That's where I wanna be. Not used to seeing naked trees, just used to my silver thatch palm leaves. Boy, I tell you, just used to seeing all these beautiful smiles all the time. Reggae calypso vibes. I can take you there. Oh, I can take you there. To the Cayman Islands. Ooh, to the Cayman Islands. Yeah, yeah, that's where I wanna be. That's where I wanna be. Though I may travel far, one thing I'll keep in mind, that there is no place on earth that I'd rather be.
Brand Brandosaurus Home Gallery, together with the GE Appliances, is helping you jumpstart 2026 with 15% savings on all GE appliances. Now through to January 31, enjoy 15% off a wide selection of GE appliances, including refrigerators, ovens, dishwashers, ranges, microwave ovens, washers, dryers, cooktops, wine coolers, and more. Lock in 2025 pricing and save before the 2026 prices take effect on February 1. Don't miss this limited time opportunity to upgrade your home and save big during the Brandosaurus Home Gallery GE Appliances Jumpstart 2026 sale. Brandosaurus Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Call them at 623-5000.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
Hey, new drivers, don't just drive, drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical motor insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16
Good morning.
Middle Road.
We now take you back to the 2026 National Education Conference.
Minister for Social Development and Innovation, Youth, Sports and Culture, Honorable Isaac Rankin. The Attorney General, Honorable Samuel Bulgin. Elected Member of Parliament and Parliamentary Secretary, Heather Bodden. Elected Member of Parliament and Parliamentary Secretary, Julie Hunter. Apologies again. Honorable DG, forgive me. Deputy Governor at Head of the Civil Service, Honorable Franz Manderson. Acting Deputy Chief Officer and Acting Deputy Chief Officer for the Ministry of Education and Training, Mr. Elroy Bryan. Director, Department of Education Services, Mr. Mark Ray. Representatives for the UCCI, OES, DCFS, HSA, Parliament Management Commission, PTA representatives, educators, other special invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good morning. Also, good morning to the Cayman Islands and everyone else joining us here today, both online and in person. On behalf of the Ministry of Education and Training and the Department of Education Services, welcome to the opening plenary of the National Education Conference 2026. We are pleased to welcome our distinguished guests, education leaders, presenters, partners, and all educators from private and public schools all across the Cayman Islands. Whether you're here with us in this room or joining us online, we are grateful to have you join us for this important national gathering. Today brings us together to reflect, to connect, and to continue strengthening the future of education in our country. As we begin, it is fitting that we ground today's proceeding in gratitude and reflection. At this time, I invite Mr. Elroy Bryan, Acting Deputy Chief Officer in the Ministry of Education and Training, to lead us in prayer. Please help me in welcoming Mr. Elroy Bryan.
Good morning. Protocol having been established, let us go to our Father in heaven at this time in prayer. Our most gracious, loving Heavenly Father, we come into your presence at this time, dear God, and we start by thanking you, dear God, for how great you are. Dear God, we realize that you spoke everything into existence that we see. We thank you for the wonderful showers of blessings that we're receiving today, dear God, and we give you thanks for that. At this time, dear God, we come and we thank you for our government. We thank you for our elected members of the government, dear God, and we pray that you continue to be with them and that you guide them, dear God, as they continue to do your work. We thank you for our education sector, dear God. We thank you for the ministry staff. We thank you for the department staff. We thank you for our teachers, our leaders within our schools. And most importantly, we thank you for our students. Dear God, we understand that we have a great responsibility to help our students, dear God, to achieve, dear God, the many talents that you have blessed them with. We pray for their parents, that you will be with them and help them. And at this time, we come now and we pray for this wonderful event, this education conference. We thank you for the talents that we have within our system. We pray that you be with the persons who have prepared their presentations and help them, dear God, as they present today. Dear God, as we move forward as a country, we continue to pray that we will always put our trust in you, understanding, dear God, that you have told us that if we look to you, dear God, that you will direct our steps and that you will help us in all that we do. We pray for unity, dear God, in the education system, and we continue to pray that we will continue, dear God, to always look to you for everything, as we understand that you are all-powerful, all-knowing. Thank you again for your love and mercy. Just we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Bryan. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite you to please stand as we honor our beloved Cayman Islands with the national song. It'll be performed by Jamie Foster of John Gray High School, a talented young vocalist who will lead us in this moment of national pride. Please help me, join me in welcoming Jamie Foster.
Oh, land of soft, fresh breezes, oh, verdant trees so fair, with thy Creator's glory reflected everywhere. O sea of palest emerald, merging to darkest blue, whene'er my thoughts fly Godward, I always think of you. Dear verdant island set in blue Caribbean Sea, I'm coming, coming very soon. Oh, beauteous isle to thee, although I wander far, my heart enshrines thee yet. Homeland fair Cayman Isle, I cannot thee forget.
Thank you, Jamie, for that beautiful rendition. I think she deserves another little round of applause. Now, I do have a quick reminder for all of those in attendance here, all who are here but haven't checked in for their individual sessions. I ask you to please do so before the start of each session. Okay. At this point, I would like to offer apologies on behalf of the Chief Officer, Sitonya Cacho, who is currently under the weather and unable to join us as planned. I know she very, very much wanted to be here and is pretty sure she's watching online. So just wishing her well in her recovery. But however, in her stead, I would like to invite Acting Deputy Chief Officer Elroy Bryan to offer remarks.
Good morning, colleagues, partners, and distinguished guests. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the National Education Conference. While protocol has been ably established, I wish to acknowledge our Premier, the Honorable Andre Ebanks, the Deputy Governor, the Honorable Franz Manderson, and other members of government in attendance, along with our civil service colleagues and private sector partners. Your presence here today underscores a shared understanding that education is a national responsibility, one that is advanced through collaboration, strengthened by innovation, and measured by the impact it has on our people. I also wish to recognize our Honorable Minister for Education and Training, the Honorable Ralston Anglin, whose vision and leadership continues to guide our education agenda, and our keynote speaker, Dr. Sonja Hulson-Alexander, whose insights will help frame today's discussions. I likewise thank our facilitators and presenters for sharing their expertise, and acknowledge our delegates because your engagement, reflection, and contribution will ultimately define the success and relevance of this conference. The Ministry of Education and Training is grounded in a strong belief that the meaningful progress occurs where innovation and inclusion intersect. When we create spaces for thoughtful dialogue, such as this, we open pathways toward a more responsive and forward-looking education system, one that recognizes diverse learner needs, embraces new approaches, and supports Caymanian learners from the earliest stages of childhood and throughout their educational journey. Throughout the day, we will explore education strategies and engage in conversation about inclusive learning experiences and innovative practices. These discussions are essential. The perspectives shared here will help inform policies and programs that move beyond intention and deliver real, measurable impact, ensuring equity, strengthening outcomes, and enabling every student to succeed. As we engage, I encourage you to challenge assumptions, seek new perspectives, and embrace collaboration. The challenges facing our education sector are complex, but so too is our collective capacity to respond with purpose, creativity, and resolve. Together, we can build an education system that is innovative in approach, inclusive in design, and impactful in results. In closing, I once again extend my sincere appreciation to each of you for being a part of this conference. Your dedication to quality education and your commitment to excellence are the forces that drive progress and lasting change. I am confident that the work undertaken here today will translate into meaningful impact for our schools, our communities, and the lives of countless young people. Thank you for being champions of education, and thank you for joining us. God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Brand, for speaking out loud the Chief Officer's warm words and encouraging words and setting the tone for today's proceedings. It is now my privilege to invite the Minister for Education and Training, the Honorable Ralston Anglin, to deliver his remarks. Please join me in welcoming Minister Anglin.
Good morning, everyone. I certainly wish all of you could see the view from up here. Today marks an important day for us. An important day where you, our deliverers of education services, come together in this fashion to ensure you continue to collaborate, you continue to innovate, you continue to include, you continue the journey for positive impact. Before I deliver my brief remarks, I want to apologize for Her Excellency the Governor, who just sent me a quick note saying she wished she could be here, but she had another engagement and was unavoidably absent. Also, want to ask you to say a quick prayer for our Chief Officer, Sitonya Cacho, who I know, in speaking to her a few minutes ago, is really feels I think her not being here makes her feel worse than the flu that she has. But I know she's watching us online, so I know she's here in spirit with all of us. I want to also ensure that everyone knows that I've been hearing the rumblings that I'm not coming to school visits the way I did in my first tour of duty. But I'm happy to report, I think I see West End in the house. There they are. I'm happy to report that I have witnesses. The school tours have officially kicked off, and I started in West End just yesterday in meeting with the senior team and all of the staff there. And so over the next couple of months, I will be coming to every single school campus to ensure that I meet with all of the senior leader teams and every single one of you as practitioners to ensure that you have a direct voice in the journey that we're going to be undertaking together over the next 4 years to ensure that we put education squarely where it should be, the #1 national priority in this country. Innovation. We've included lots and lots of tools for you as practitioners, for our students. We've invested heavily in technology. We've just rolled out a new system that helps you better manage your schools, your students. We got a one-to-one device policy. We will continue to invest in technology, but it's not lost on me that we must also ensure that with that technology comes great responsibility, and we must ensure that we continue to offer you the in-depth training to ensure that the technology is a key enabler to better practice. Technology in and of itself is not going to deliver the results. It is you, all of you, interfacing with all of your students that will deliver the results that we need. We've made great strides in inclusion in our system. Gone are the days where if there's a doubt, the child goes to Lighthouse School. We have so much more appreciation and have included a policy priority around inclusion that is having meaningful impact on our students' lives. When we think of the autism classroom at Sir John Cumber Primary School, when we think of all of the sensory rooms that we create on so many campuses, when I think about just during this last graduation season, where three students were issued leaving certificates, and so their achievement wasn't to the level that they could attain a level 1 diploma. But they were embraced, them and their families, and allowed to walk across the stage with their peers with a high school leaving certificate. You would not believe the impact that that had. Because I met with one of the young men and their mother. And when she was in my office, she actually started to cry because she was so appreciative that as a system, we allowed her young son to walk with cap and gown with his peers. That evening had great impact. And so we must ensure that we push forward with our inclusive school policies. We are about ensuring that we assist families and this country in shaping and transforming the lives of little children to become responsible adults. You all have heard me say, we are not in the business of taking care of small children. We're in the business of creating responsible adults of tomorrow. That is the impact that a good education system has on the lives of our young learners. And so those of you who are reception practitioners, please remember every day that in 13 short years, those small little children that are in your care are going to be either walking across a platform to receive their graduation certificate and going on to SciFec, going on to dual entry, and then in the blink of an eye, in the workforce. Those of you who are a little more seasoned veterans can tell your younger colleagues just how quickly that happens. And so in everything we do on a day-to-day basis, let us keep that at the center of our minds. That those young learners, before we know it, are going to be the adults of tomorrow, and a lot of them coming back and visiting you in your classrooms with their own children. And so we must ensure that as we innovate, as we be inclusive, that we are having the positive impact that our children deserve. I am confident that in this hall, we have the people to make this happen. And that is all of you. I know that there are times where you get frustrated. I know there are times where you feel unsupported by the department, by the ministry, by the community, by parents. But during those difficult times, I can only ask you that as you refresh and reflect and go back to school the next day, you look at every one of those children that are in your care and remember what the mission is. Remember why you took up this calling. And you took up this calling to transform lives. And as you do that, there can be no greater reward. There can be no greater reward. So, impact, that positive impact, has to be what we think about every single day throughout a school year. Those of you who know me know that a lot of my own lessons that I take with me in life come from my absolute love of music. And one of my favorite artists is Teddy Prendergast. Yeah, you can clap. A lot of people know Teddy Prendergast as the mellow, soulful artist who delivers some of the greatest love songs. What a lot of people don't know is in his early journey in music, he was a lead singer for Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. And they sang a song, Wake Up Everybody. And in that song, they delivered a message and a calling to everyone. They had a calling for the politicians. They had a calling for doctors. They had a calling for everyone, but they ensured they had a calling for you, for teachers. And they said, wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. Because they're the ones that's coming up, and the world is in their hands. When you teach the children, teach them the very best you can. If you don't know that song, take an opportunity, either on a break or later this evening, and listen to it. Because if you listen to those words, you must get goosebumps as a teacher. Because in that short verse, it is the charge for every educator. Wake up all the teachers, time to teach a new way. That's innovation, right? Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. Because they're the ones who's coming up, and the world is in their hands. When you teach the children, teach them the very best you can. You also know that I get a lot of inspiration from Bob Marley. And in his song, Crisis, he spoke of not everyone having sunshine in their lives. And he also reminded us that we can either be that additional dark, dreary cloud in someone's life, or you can be that ray of sunshine. I don't need to tell you, but I'll remind you, in front of you every day are children who come from the widest spectrums of households. And I want to remind you that some of them come from a dual parent household that's stable, that is nurturing, that is supportive of them and supporting of them as learners. But way too many come from broken homes. Way too many come with great challenges, and you see it every day. I just want to remind you that a lot of the children who you encounter and the behaviors that you see in front of you being demonstrated need you to be nurturing, loving, caring. Because no matter how much we innovate, no matter how much we include, if that element is missing, it is all for naught. Because as we innovate, as we include, it takes your patience, your love, your care, your dedication to be that ray of sunshine that that child may be getting as the only ray of sunshine in their lives. And that could very well be the ray of sunshine that they are going to be able to follow through their education journey that takes them from a broken home, a challenged home, to a bright outcome and being a productive adult. That is the power our system has. That is the power you have. That is the power you must exercise every day as you encounter all of your students, those who come from that stable, strong home, who more than likely will be a high flyer at the end, and those who come from the broken home, those who come from a challenged environment, who need you to be that ray of sunshine as you innovate, as you include, to ensure that you can lead them to that brighter and better tomorrow. And so today, it gives me great pleasure to officially open the National Education Conference 2026. I wish all of you have a productive day. I'm sure that we're going to have riveting sessions. I'm sure there's going to be deep learning. And what I'm most proud of is that so many of our own educators are going to be delivering a number of those sessions. So I wish you a successful conference. I'm going to stick around and I'm going to actually peep in on a couple of the sessions myself. Most of you know, I tell you all the time, I'm an accountant, not a teacher. But it is because of loving, caring teachers that started with Miss Ebanks when I was a 5-year-old boy and ended with me at sixth form at John Gray that put me where I am. Create the next Minister of Education. Create the next Premier. Create the next doctor. Create the next mechanic. Create the next plumber. Create the next innovator of industry, because the power is in your hands. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for your remarks, your vision, leadership, and commitment you bring to the advancement of education in our country. If that doesn't get you going this morning, I don't know what will. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before we continue, we're going to take a brief moment to share a little love, a little appreciation with those of you that are here with us this morning. Before you arrived today, a few seats in this room were discreetly marked with a special sticker. The sticker is going to be on the right-hand side, your right-hand side of your chair leg. If you spot that sticker, congratulations. You're one of this morning's winners. All right? I made sure it wasn't an hour. It's the front right leg of the chair. Your right. And the gift is underneath the chair. Okay, okay. Check yours. Got one? Under the chair? Look under the chair. Huh? I know it wasn't a sickness or no shit, nothing like that. Okay, well, there are three. We have one. Awesome, awesome. Congratulations. And yeah, and the third. Congratulations all. The 3 gift certificates. Just a small token of our appreciation for you guys being here with us today. Congratulations to all the winners. Okay, so our next performer is Matthew Moore, a student of Edna Mall Primary School, who will be sharing his musical gift with us on the clarinet. Matthew's performance is a wonderful reminder of the creativity and the potential within our young people and the important role that arts play in education. Please join me in welcoming Matthew Moore. Thank you, Matthew. Another round of applause for Matthew. It's not easy getting here from Northside in the morning, so I appreciate him being here. To introduce our keynote speaker, it is my pleasure to invite Ms. Tammy Hopkins, Acting Deputy Director of the Department of Education Services, to the stage. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Tammy Hopkins.
Good morning, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker for our National Education Conference. Dr. Sonja Hollins-Alexander is a senior consultant and best-selling author for Corwin Publishing. During her time at Corwin, she has served as a director of professional learning and vice president of global professional learning services. She has been in the field of education and publishing for 30 years, with 16 of them being in education leadership at the school, district, and higher education levels, and 11 of those being in educational consulting and publishing. During this time, she has served as a school social worker, teacher, assistant principal, principal, coordinator, director of professional learning, and chair of staff, serving in 2 metro Atlanta, Georgia school districts. She continued her professional beyond K through 12 as a senior consultant for professional development firms and independently. She has also served on numerous United Way nonprofit boards and served as the board president for Learning Forward Georgia and as a member of the national affiliate Leadership Council for Learning Forward. Through her professional journey, she has had experience in strategic planning, policy development, stakeholder communication and engagement, instructional and curriculum design, facilitation of adult learning strategy, executive leadership, coaching, and conference facilitation and design, and has served on numerous quality assurance teams with the Cognia School Accreditation and Certification Organization. She is a Corwin author and co-author of multiple best-selling publications consisting of the following: Online Professional Development Through Virtual Learning Communities, Collective Equity, Mind Frames for Belonging, Identities and Equity, and A Leader's Guide for Creating the Optimal Culture and Climate for Learning, which is due to be published in June 2026. Sonja holds a bachelor's degree in psychology, a master's degree in social work, a teaching certificate in middle grades language arts, a specialist degree in educational administration and leadership, and a doctorate degree in curriculum and instruction. She is committed to partner engagement and implementation of evidence-informed, sustained professional learning services that positively impact teaching and learning, not by chance, but by design. It is my distinct pleasure to offer a warm welcome to the Cayman Islands to Dr. Sonja Hollins-Alexander.
Good morning. That was a little bit much. First of all, I just want to thank you for welcoming me to this beautiful island. From when I stepped off the plane to everyone that I met today, the hospitality here has been exceptional. And I really appreciate the opportunity to be before you, distinguished educators and honorable guests. I really appreciated what I heard Honorable Anglin sharing a moment ago about us being a ray of sunshine. And so what I know is that there are several rays of sunshine that are sitting in the audience. And so today, as I am before you, my hope is that I leave you feeling impacted and knowing that creating this sense of belonging, not only for students but for yourselves, is so critical to making sure that we're innovative, that we're inclusive, and most importantly, that we make an impact. And so, as you heard my career, I would say to you that my journey has always been about advocating for teachers and for students. I would describe myself as having an advocate's heart. I don't believe that there's any profession better than the one that you are in. So before I get started, yes, give yourselves a round of applause. We give a lot of ourselves because we choose to, and we educate the future and we educate the world. And so this morning, I'm going to give you some evidence of how you can continue to make the impact that you've been making with students. And I know that you will leave here feeling confirmed and confident about who you are. Okay, oops, went a little fast. So, the work that I have been doing and the writing that I have been engaged in is very much based in evidence and in research. What I think is so beautiful is that we have a lot of evidence around the effective practices and the things that we do in education. Our job is to make sure that we make the right decision so that we can make the impact that we desire. And so as I set off on this journey, really focusing on belonging and culture and climate, identities and equity, many people would say to me, well, Sandra, that's just a bunch of fluff. But I am here to tell you that creating a sense of belonging, elevating the identities of the students you serve, and making sure that they are valued and validated in the classroom will improve academic achievement. But even so, I want you to know that for yourself, that creating communities where you work with your colleagues and you elevate the interests and the ideas that you have will also create that sense. So when we think about the visible learning research, Professor John Hattie has spent his entire lifetime looking at evidence and the practices that not only make an impact in teaching and learning, but those that make the greatest impact. By a show of hands, how many of you are already familiar with the visible learning research? Yes, quite a few of you. In 2013, that's when I was introduced to Professor Hattie and that body of work, and it changed my trajectory. Not because I didn't feel confident in the things that I was doing, but now I know that there is evidence in the actions that I take that are going to make the impact on teaching and learning that I desire. So as you can see, the visible learning work is about making learning visible. We can see it, you guys. Making it visible not only to our students, but making it visible to you every day in your classrooms. And so what Professor Hattie did in this evidence, he took a statistical analysis that he calls the effect size. So I'm not going to go really deep into that process this morning, but I want you to understand as I go through my presentation what the impact is on the specific teaching strategies and practices that I'm going to talk about. So you can see here, 0.40 is what Professor Hattie identifies as the hinge point. So when you look at the strategies from that body of work, anything above 0.40 has the potential to accelerate learning. But notice I said it has the potential. It can't do anything without you. And so implementation, being frequent, intense, and throughout the duration of supporting the students in your classroom is when you will see that impact. And part of being able to do that is creating a climate and culture where there is a sense of belonging. And so you heard in my introduction, I am a firm believer and not by chance, but by design. And so I'm here to tell you that design is elevated by the evidence and by the research. But design is actually communicated through you and your instructional practices. And so here is just another example of the effect size and the potential of impact. So when we think about innovation and we think about inclusive practices, when we engage in those ways, my friends, there is an opportunity to make an impact on the learning of every student that's in your classroom. But we need you. We need each and every one of you to do what you do best, to do what you came into this profession to do, to make a difference. And so, again, research is research, but without you and the implementation of what you do as educators, there isn't an opportunity for us to make that impact. So, my book that I co-authored with Professor Hattie, Dr. Nicole Law, and Dr. Dominique Smith is about the mind frames. And so we're probably accustomed to hearing about mindsets, but mind frames are our why. It is what we think about. It is what we believe in. It is what we value. And so when you think about your belief system, you have to be committed to making sure that your students are elevated in all the ways that are possible in the spaces of learning. And so Professor Hattie did a lot of work, and we did a lot of work with him on mind frames for belonging, for identities, and for equity. So when you think about mind frames, I want you to consider that's my belief system. And so what Professor Hattie has identified, which blew me away when I first saw this, the way we think about what we do is more important than what we do. So I want you to take a moment to really massage that statement. The way we think about what we do is more important than what we do. And the reason why these mind frames precede anything else, because if I don't believe in my students and I don't believe that they're going to succeed and excel, it's in my thoughts. And guess what? They won't. So it starts with us. It starts with our belief system. And these mind frames for belonging, identities, and equity are instrumental in the ways in which we need to think to create inclusive and environments of belonging. So I'm going to give us a few opportunities this morning to engage with each other. And when I do, I'm going to pull us back together by saying waterfall. And so I put that up there as a reminder. And so you're going to hear me say waterfall, shh. Because what I want you to do is be able to engage, but I'm going to need to pull you back together. So these are the mind frames for belonging, identities, and equity. I want you to take a moment to look at these and consider this question. How might the BIE mind frames be a catalyst for educators coming together with a focus on belonging for all members of the learning community? I'm going to give you 3 minutes to look at these, turn and talk to your neighbor, and think about, all right, Sandra just said that the way I think about what I do is more important than what I do. When I look at these mind frames like we value engagement and learning for all, or we cultivate, fortifying, and sustaining environments, why might these be a catalyst for creating a sense of belonging for the learning communities that we're part of? So take about 2 to 3 minutes, turn and talk, and discuss these mind frames with your neighbor. to a close. One more minute. Okay, let's come back together. Waterfall. Shh. Awesome. So, I see just a ray of sunshine out here before me. I would love for one person to just identify what was part of the conversation you had with your colleague. And I have a mic here, and so if you could just stand. And I'd like to hear, what did you discuss around how these mind frames can be a catalyst for creating a community of belonging? Oh, I know you're brave. And I heard lots of conversation. All right, we have a brave soul over here and a courageous one. Before you speak, Simone has a mic for you, and please identify your name.
Hey. Hi. Hey, good morning. I'm Angela Scott from John Gray High School. As we were talking, my partners and I, it's all about relationship building, being open and communicative and loving throughout whether we're working with our own children in the classroom or our coworkers. It's about being open and loving and communicating.
I love that, Angela. Spot on. Yes, give Angela a round of applause. And Angela, I actually work for a publishing company, so I want you to go to the Corin website and pick out any book of your choice for being that courageous person. Thank you so much for sharing. So I need to bring Angela up here on the stage with me because she got it right. Relationships are critically important to making sure that we are able to actually exemplify the things that are identified in these mind frames. So when Professor Hattie, Nicole, and I worked on these mind frames, we did a Delphi study. But basically, we assessed people from all over the world to inquire and ask them, what would educators need to do to create that community and that culture of belonging? And so the analysis came up with these 10. But you will notice that intentionally there is the term we, because this work cannot be done in isolation. We have to do it together. So when you think about that, I want you to consider teacher-student relationships, Angela. Back to effect sizes. Remember, 0.40 is the hinge point. Anything above that has the potential to accelerate learning. So when you build relationships with your students, the effect size is 0.57, which is above the hinge point. So student-teacher relationships is not a nice to have, it's a need to have. So when we think about relationships, they fuel learning for our students. Rita Pearson, who we'll see a little bit later, said that kids don't learn from people they don't like. And I want to make it clear to you, it's not people who don't like them, it's people they don't like. And the only reason our students feel that way about us, because we haven't created a community of belonging. Oftentimes, they don't know if their teacher or the educators they work with know about them, love them, care for them. So relationships are important. And they're not extra, they are essential. So the next big piece of research is collective teacher-educator efficacy. And you can see right now, it's off the chart. So what is collective teacher-educator efficacy? It goes back to that belief system. Do we believe as a collective, as a group, as independent adults who support students that they can achieve and they can succeed, and that we're going to plan and make decisions around the best way for them to do that? And so there are many schools, didn't mean to go to that. There are many schools that are engaging in this consistently and have consistently to see the increase in student performance results. But again, here is the definition of collective teacher and educator advocacy. It's when we work together to plan, to moderate, to evaluate. We can't know our impact if we don't evaluate the things that we do. Critique the multiple interpretations of progress to achievement. And so achievement is important, but growth is critically important, and we need to celebrate it when we see it. So I'm about to show you a video of a high school in California, and I want you to notice what are some of the behaviors and the actions that are demonstrated by these educators and the students to create that culture of belonging through collective teacher and educator advocacy.
The reality is that we're human beings, and human beings have social and emotional needs. That includes teachers. Teachers work incredibly hard. Our work is intellectually challenging, it's socially challenging, and it can definitely take an emotional toll. You really need to just keep doing, because you've got. The more that we can be here to support one another, the better that we'll all be. Trust gives you permission to be wrong, and being wrong is an important step toward finding ultimately the right answer to any sort of a problem.
Hi, Sabrina. Previously, my experiences were that you get to work, you sign in, you dash to your room, and you get started for the day. Something magical. This school works really hard to make sure that no teacher is left on an island alone. We start with the morning meeting where you get to see your colleagues' faces. Just saying good morning is so important to setting the tone for the day. People know right away if maybe it was a rough start to the morning, then I'm gonna have a little bit more love as I go about my day to ensure that I'm my best self for my students. In every educational setting, we talk about modeling and modeling the dynamics of good relationships. For students to see that within us helps them to know how to interact with people that they come in contact with as well.
They make me feel like I matter. They make me feel like they don't just care about me because they're teachers and they care about, straight A's. They care about me as a person and my well-being. So I feel like that's why we behave better. It makes me want to respect them back.
I know that I'm at my worst when I'm in isolation, because I'm only as good as me. The moment I start to have others to collaborate with, now that we're a collective, we can rise further together. Something that we've been working on for a couple years is our professional learning communities. It truly is a collaborative experience where we are working together to problem solve things that are happening in each other's classrooms. It can be very vulnerable, bringing your practice out and putting it on display for all eyes to see, but it's a necessary part of improvement, and we trust each other to give honest feedback, but also growth-producing feedback. We recognize that by one of us getting better, we all get better. As a math teacher, I want my students to have a fantastic English experience. I want them to have a fantastic science experience. All of those things are things that I can leverage in the math classroom.
Everyone supports you. That support really pushes you to grow, to be a better person. They've pushed me to take a lot more classes than I would have done otherwise. Sometimes I could be a little lazy, but the teachers are always on you, and when they're on you, you gotta push forward, and that's what happens. You push forward, you get rewarded.
Very nice.
Every single day, in addition to a content learning intention and a language learning intention, we have a social learning intention, and the purpose of that shifts from day to day. We're building culture from the ground up.
Intentionality is so key to building that trust with the students and just letting them know again, I've got a row of adults here who love me and care about me and who are listening to me, and I'm not just a body in the classroom. I'm not gonna let you fail. I'm not gonna let you be less than you're capable of being.
When students know that they're cared about and know that they're loved, it gives us a reason to come to school. We feel like we have something to come for.
This school is awesome, and the relationships that you build with teachers just makes you want to elevate yourself to that next level. It's the greatest school in the universe, you know? And that's just really cool.
So take a couple of minutes, turn and talk to your neighbor, and identify any actions that you observed in this video and what might be something you can take back to your learning community to be on that journey of inclusive and belonging support. So take a couple of minutes and I'll bring us back together. Thank your neighbor and your colleague for that discussion. And so what I hope you were able to observe in this video is not only do students need a sense of belonging, but we need it too. And the way that we do that is to depend on each other. It's to come together as a collective and to plan. Isolation isn't good for any of us. And guess what else? When we come together in those ways, our students see it. They see the modeling that we're doing as adults for the behaviors that they will then choose to take when they become adults. So I hope in that video you were able to take a few actions that you might be able to take back to your schools. And then the last piece of research that I want to bring forward to you is belonging. Who would have ever thought that belonging was evidence-based? We all want to belong. Perhaps we know what it feels like when we do and when we don't. And so a sense of belonging has the ability to impact a student's performance and learning at 0.46, again, above the hinge point. So it's not a nice to have, it's essential. So when we think about belonging, right here, teaching the whole child is not possible without creating a sense of belonging for all learners, not for some of the learners, not the ones that sometimes come into our spaces and they feel easy to love. It's for all the learners. And so when we talk about teaching the whole child, it's not just academics, but it is that social and emotional piece as well. But belonging allows for academic and social and cognitive opportunities to flourish and thrive. Belonging changes everything. Think about it. If you were sitting in this room right now, and maybe you are, and I hope not, because I certainly have felt a sense of belonging. But think about it. If you were sitting in here learning and you didn't feel like you belonged, would your mind, would your body, would your soul, would your spirit be ready for the academic rigor that perhaps you're going to receive throughout this day? And so belonging changes everything in a classroom environment. So we're going to zero in on the mind frames for belonging. You saw all 10 of the mind frames earlier. Those were reflective of belonging, identities, and equity. And so the 3 mind frames for belonging is we strive to invite all to learn. We evaluate engagement and learning for all. So we need to know our impact. Are all of our students engaged? Do they feel that sense of belonging? And then finally, back to that collective efficacy. We collaborate. And not only do we collaborate, but our students collaborate with each other to learn and thrive. Belonging is collective. It is how we come together. It is how we feel when we come together. So, I hope right now you have a sense of belonging, and as we go forward, you understand the critical opportunity for creating that for each and every student in your classroom, because every student deserves to belong. How do we create belonging, though? You've seen some actions of how we create the collective, but how do we provide affirmation and support and value and validation to our students so that they know that they belong? Do you know your students? Do you know them? Do you know their interests? Do you know about their families? Do you know what makes them happy? Do you know what makes them sad? Do you know what happened on the weekends? And better yet, do you know your colleagues? Do you know the sister or brother beside you that's doing the same thing that you're doing? Do you tap into their funds of knowledge? Do you seek to be a collaborative? Creating a sense of belonging is about affirming us in the identities of who we are. So, gonna see another video. This one is to focus on belonging. So what I'd like for you to do is, what specific practices about belonging did you observe and learning about from the video, okay?
Anything else special happened this weekend, friends?
In the pool, I did a cannonball. I know how to swim.
You know how to swim?
I know how to blow bubbles underwater.
You
Me
do?
too.
As human beings, one of the most essential needs we have is the need to belong. In school, children need a sense of belonging to be able to be productive learners. They need to be connected to their fellow students, connected to their teachers, to also be affirmed in who they are in a way that is positive and accepting.
I don't take swimming lessons.
In a belonging classroom, there's a community being explicitly built. The teacher knows each child and things about each of those children that they can mention and draw on.
I pay attention, I listen. I'm really invested in what they tell me. The students feeling loved, students feeling nurtured, students feeling like they have a place at school, they're safe. It activates their brain cells.
What side were you on? Sense of belonging is one of the most important activators of a child's engagement in learning. Everything about activating a child's cognitive skills begins with activating their social connectedness. The energy for learning is coming from the social connection that children have.
But in the end, we're trying to come up with an agreement.
Excellent. We're not going to comment, question. We're only going to encourage. Because they're culturally and linguistically diverse students, I want to really make sure that we are making them feel connections. All the writing we do in our class, it's very much about them. It helps them, promotes them to find their own voice and to share their stories.
Sometimes people think every Muslim person is a target or is a terrorist.
Thank you, Anissa.
Answering our second question. What did this show us about what we are good at as a crew?
Working together, because we often argue a lot.
Today we did an activity that was really designed to get them thinking about how they're going to support each other. I think that reiterating the idea that we're in this together, I think it's hard to find the time, but doing some team building exercises at the beginning of the year and revisiting them can really help illustrate that point.
In a belonging classroom, they have a community that may meet in classroom meetings to problem solve together, to read stories together, to tell successes and accomplishments or important events together. They celebrate like families do, things that each other have done or have experienced.
Let's talk about what we admire about some of our friends.
I admire Jazara because she is so compassionate.
And where we're talking about being compassionate and being supportive of one another, gets to build that deeper connection for everyone, just to feel like this is their school family, this is somewhere they're loved, they're nurtured, they're taken care of, they're valued.
Thank you for speaking.
The community becomes a place where you can bring your emotions, your fears, your needs. You can be honest about what's going on and know that there will be acceptance, support, and love that's available to carry you through.
We all can work together and we all can try to strategize together and create a better pathway for others to be successful. And we can make it fun.
They're working together. They take care of each other, not just personally, but academically.
We're always pushing each other.
So take 3 minutes, turn and talk to your neighbor or a new neighbor on the other side of you, and identify what were some specific practices you were able to observe where these teachers created a sense of belonging and the students in their classroom. And then we'll come back together. Waterfall. Shh. All right. I love another brave soul, another courageous soul to collaborate with me and all of your colleagues in this room regarding a practice you saw or something that you feel like you can take back to your classroom tomorrow. Just raise your hand. Yay. We have one here. So if you could identify your name.
Good morning. My name is Deborah Power-Zergat.
Yes.
I'm a librarian in Kim and Brack Schools. We were talking about, this lady and I, Miss Denise, we're talking about how the children said a positive thing about each other. So we can take this back in our classrooms, in our sessions, in our groups. We can say, what is it that you like about this child, and give them affirmations and even ask them, what do you like about me, your educator?
Love it.
What is it that you don't like about me? So that you're putting everything on the table and you're saying there's room for improvement in all of us.
Thank you, Miss Deborah. Yes, a round of applause. What a great example. And I love that you were able to identify strategies. And so at the end of the presentation, you're going to see my email address and you can select any book of your choice, okay? All right, so we are learning and we're gaining new knowledge about how to create a culture of belonging and that sense of belonging. And so as we continue, what we need to know, though, because we do have students and families, as we heard earlier, that come from many challenging backgrounds. What we can't do is point the finger at their families, at each other. Remember, we're collective. We're all in this together, and our belief system, our mind frame is we can engage every student that we support. And if we believe that, if we think that, then our actions are going to lead us to that. So, just so that we remember, what are our jobs? Our jobs as a collective is to come together and teach the students we have, not the ones we would like to have, not the ones we used to have, but those that we have right now. And guess what, everybody? They're waiting on you. They know that you're their champions. They're looking to you to bring them into this learning community, to engage them, to uplift them, to support them. And so that is our job as a collective. So let's update, let's unlearn some things, and let's refine and let's reconsider. One, caring adult matters in the life of a child and in the life of a colleague. One caring adult. And I believe that each and every one of you is that one. And so when you are a caring adult, it says, I am here for you. You matter. And I am committed to your learning. I'm going to scaffold. I'm going to utilize different strategies because I believe and I know that you can get there because of my commitment. And I'm going to reach out to my colleagues all over the ministry. I'm going to get resources. I am going to collaborate. I'm going to institute collective efficacy because I am that one adult and I want you to know that you matter. Yes. So the secret ingredient is what Miss Angela shared. Teacher-student interactions create visibility because I see you. Thank you, Miss Sonja. I see you. I see that you care. You're here in the room. You're helping me when I struggle. Trust. Trust is built on honesty and commitment to your actions. So I can trust you if you do what you say you're going to do. So if you believe and you're committed to my learning, then when you come to school every day, that's what you're going to do. And you're not going to give up on me. And so I trust you when you do that. And identity affirmation and a community that believes in them. We know that teacher-students relationships multiply. This is research, multiply, and the likelihood of students achieving. Not our content knowledge, although that's important, because we do need to know what we're teaching about. Not what school we went to, not the neighborhood we're from, not the church we go to, but our relationship with that one student can change the trajectory of their lives. And so Rita Pearson has encouragement for all of us. And so as I bring this to a close, I want you to channel your inner Rita Pearson when you go back to your schools.
I have had classes that were so low, so academically deficient that I cried. I wondered, how am I going to take this group in 9 months from where they are to where they need to be? How do I raise the self-esteem of a child and his academic achievement at the same time? One year I came up with a bright idea. I told all my students, you were chosen to be in my class. Because I am the best teacher and you are the best students, they put us all together so we could show everybody else how to do it. One of the students said, really? I said, really? And I gave him a saying to say, I am somebody. I was somebody when I came. I'll be a better somebody when I leave. I am powerful and I am strong. I deserve the education that I get here. I have things to do, people to impress, and places to go. And they said, yeah. You say it long enough, it starts to be a part of you.
So, when you go back to your classrooms, I want you to channel your inner, your inner Rita Pearson. Every student deserves a champion. Every student deserves a ray of sunshine. Every student deserves a caring adult. Every student deserves the commitment that you agreed to when you became a teacher. And I believe that each and every one of you educators, you're that person. You're that caring adult. You're the secret ingredient. And without a doubt, as we focus on innovation, inclusion, and impact, there is no better person to make that happen than each and every one of you. I believe in you. I want you to start believing in yourselves as a collective. I want you to come together and plan and make adjustments and do the things that you know how to do to uplift your learning community and create that culture of belonging. And so before you go, from a learning perspective, if not us, this is John Lewis. He comes from the great city that I am a part of. I've had multiple opportunities in his lifetime to meet him. He is always an inspiration. If not us, then who? If not now, then when? Now is the day. Now is the day for you to make that difference. Now is the day for you to create a sense of belonging. And I have no doubt from everything that I've learned about this amazing island, this amazing country, that everybody in these chairs is the right caring adult. Yes, time to get in some good trouble. Yes, that is the good trouble that we want to get in, that we chose, the profession that we chose. It's not easy. It's never easy, but things that are worth it, and I know y'all have heard this before, are never things that don't come with a challenge. But guess what? You've been chosen to be the ones to take on that challenge. There is confidence in you from your leaders that you're the right group to be able to do it. And I know that you are. So when you leave me, make sure that you give some feedback, some love, because I want to be able to continue to go and speak to amazing people such as yourself and continue to encourage and to motivate you. You got this. You can do it. You will do it. You will create that culture of belonging. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Hollins-Alexander, for sharing your insights, experience, and practical strategies with us. I think I can speak for the room and everybody online that we all found it truly inspiring. To everyone watching online and across the Cayman Islands, thank you for joining us for the opening plenary of the National Education Conference 2026. We are grateful that you took the time to be a part of this important national conversation on education, growth, and opportunity. To our educators and conference participants here today, on behalf of the Ministry of Education and Training, thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your commitment, your passion, your willingness to lead, learn, and collaborate. We now invite you to transition to your scheduled workshops, where the conversations and learning will continue throughout the day. Just as a reminder, if you haven't checked in or registered for your session as yet, please go to the booth to my right in the foyer, and the conference team will be there to help you out. Thank you again for joining us. Have a productive conference, and enjoy the rest of your day.
From Radio Cayman, you've been listening live to the 2026 National Education Conference.